Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Before the break, we were talking about the Denver Nuggets and their offseason and any changes that might need to be made before next season. Can they repeat? What is their future looking like? And Tate, we're going to move on. But you have any follow up or any wrap up that we didn't cover in that last segment?
Well, no. I mean, the people don't realize sometimes how critical the new salary cap is. Being up against the apron, that's the thing that I think fans of the Denver Nuggets should fear, because no team wants to go over that, because the penalties are just astronomical. And so, and the way it limits a team. So stand up under that. Caldwell Pope, a couple players opting out could be a critical change. So it's just something that you got to consider and think about.
All right. So as I said, we're moving on to the WNBA. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, or the LVCVA, that's a mouthful, announced a groundbreaking sponsorship deal for each player on the Las Vegas Aces WNBA team, providing $100,000 to every player with no conditions other than continuing to play basketball. LVCVA's president and CEO surprised the team with the offer, emphasizing the desire for the players to represent Las Vegas and potentially achieve a three-peat championship. While the players expressed gratitude for the sponsorship, the WNBA is reportedly investigating the deal. The LVCVA has structured the deals with the players' agents similarly to college name, image, and likeness deals, leading to concerns for the league. Despite the controversy, it has been a successful week for the Aces, who recently visited the White House to celebrate their championship and won their season opener against the Phoenix Mercury. So, thoughts on this, Tate?
Okay. This one's tough. This one's tough for me, big time. I saw this, and when I first saw this, I was like, this is awesome. This is, the WNBA players don't make a lot of money. Some players make as little as $50,000, $60,000 a year. So for them to get an extra $100,000 is a big deal. And I feel like they deserve it. The game has improved so much. I'm so pro the women getting more money and getting more recognition.
Okay,
But there's another side to that. And what the other side that I was thinking about is the fact that, let's say you're one of the competitors and you're looking around and you're competing against the Las Vegas Aces, and you just saw them kind of circumvent the salary cap in a way. Technically speaking, you're in the locker room with all the players, with the ownership group, and someone that's in the locker room just makes a statement, hey, everyone on the team gets an extra $100,000. Now, if you're a solid role player, or you're a player on another team, and you're making that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and you're becoming a free agent, or you're thinking about possibly asking for a trade, or possibly about thinking that you may be dealt, you want to go to the Aces.
I want to go to the Aces.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That means if you're a $70,000 player, there's a big difference between, hey, I'm a $70,000 WNBA player and making an extra $100,000. So you're making $170,000. You've done more than doubled your income.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason why I can understand why the WNBA is investigating this. I can understand why a lot of the other teams are upset about this. Now, with that being said, I don't care. No, I don't care. These ladies, they don't make enough money.
Mm-hmm.
if anything, I feel like every player in the entire league deserves an extra $100,000. Think about the money that Caitlin Clark's going to be bringing to the league. I think I get what teams are upset about this. I understand why the WNBA is concerned about this, because you don't want something like this to run amok. And if you're, let's say, if you're the LA Sparks, and all of a sudden you're looking around and you're like, you know what? Hey, we got this new endorsement deal. Everybody's gonna get $200,000. Anyone, as a matter of fact, anyone who signs with us on free agency, they get the extra $200,000 as well.
I mean, from the players' perspective, they're like, yeah.
Oh, it definitely benefits the players. That's the great thing about it.
I can see what you're saying about running amok, but I mean, how far do they have to go before it's so far amok that, I mean, they're still making less than allowed?
Well, but it's still, you got to look at it as you're thinking about this. Like, that's why I said I don't care, because I'm happy that the players are getting more money.
Right.
They're getting more recognition. But as an organization, trying to run an organization, and you're looking around and you're like, the most important thing is we have to protect the integrity of the game and the laws and rules that is regulated by. That is the key. That is the job of the commissioner of the WNBA. So I could see how that would be an issue. The question is, as an organization, if they come back, the big question is, you're the commissioner of the WNBA, Sarah, okay? You are the commissioner of the WNBA.
Don't know how I got that job, but thank you, okay?
All right. You look around and you're like, man, I do think this is awesome. The players deserve that extra $100,000. But it's wrong, because other teams didn't get that extra $100,000. If you're the commissioner, how do you go to them and say you can't take that $100,000?
No, that would be.
You know what I mean? How do you do that?
Conversations to have.
Yeah, how do you do that as a commissioner? The backlash that would come from saying, "Hey, no, our guys can't get that extra $100,000. It looks bad." Or if you're the commissioner and you say there was nothing wrong with what was done, then you now open the door up for everyone who wants to be a part of this, and to kind of cheat and circumvent the system by saying, anyone that wants to sign with Iowa, they get everyone, they want to see Caitlin Clark do well. So anyone that signs with Iowa gets an extra 2 players, all players that's with Iowa, by the end of the year gets an extra $200,000. Now it opens up so that now players are wanting to figure out a way. How do I get to that other situation where there's more money available? It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And not every franchise is going to have the same opportunities for these types of sponsorships. So you're just going to get into this cycle of everyone trying to get to one franchise or the other. And then the smaller franchises maybe, or maybe not even the smaller ones, but the ones that don't have the same opportunities are just going to get trampled in the process.
I mean. There's no right answer to this one. No. There's absolutely no right answer, because of the fact that you're looking at it and both alternatives are bad. That's the situation. If the owner, if the guy from tourism didn't do it in such a public way, cameras were everywhere. If he would have pulled in the aces and said, "Hey, we have this sponsorship opportunity to work with the city of Las Vegas, and we want to sponsor the whole team. It's you guys get paid about $100,000 a player. There you go." But it's how he did it.
Doesn't that leave room then for people to say that was sneaky and that's worse?
Well, It's more, this whole thing is more about a more public relations situation. He did it in such a public way. There's no, doing it the other way is the same as Nike coming to Caitlin Clark and saying, hey, we have a sponsorship opportunity. We want you to sign with us. We're going to give you $10 million to wear Nike products or Jordan brand products or Adidas or New Balance or whatever it is. That's the difference. You don't have a situation where you, the head of Nike walks into the locker room and just says, "Oh, you guys, 100,000 for all you guys.
You get 100,000. You get 100,000.
That's the problem. It's how it was done, and in such a public way where it was obvious that being a member of this team gets you an extra 100,000. If you were on another team, we wouldn't even consider you. Only players who are on this team. Wink, wink. Hey, free agencies come around. You did see last year our players got $100,000 more than everybody else in the league. We can't confirm this, but there's a good chance that's going to be coming back next year. I know you got a deal with, whatever, insert, the Phoenix Mercury, but Phoenix is only going to pay you 70. We're going to give you the 70, but don't forget about that extra 100,000. That's when it gets that way. That's when you're circumventing the salary cap by doing it that way. That's the concern.
I think it's complicated, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about it as it goes along.
Yes.
So we're going to take another break. That wraps up our sports segments for this episode. When we come back, switching topics to UFOs, maybe.
Okay.
All right. So stay tuned. You're watching the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.